días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Estamos en vivo en Enlightened World Network en Angelspeakers interpretado en español. Welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Enlightened World Network, to Angelspeakers interpretado en español. Y el día de hoy, today, I have the honor, it's really an honor for me to have Jean Lorio in our program. Estoy muy contenta de tener a Jean Lorio en nuestro programa el día de hoy y poco a poco van a saber el por qué para mí es un gran placer y honor tener a Jean en nuestro programa. You will know as she shares her story why it's an honor and a privilege to have her in Angelspeakers interpretado en español. Welcome, Jean. Bienvenida, Jean.
Well, thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here. Soy muy feliz.
Muy feliz de estar aquí. Sí, nosotros también. Today, Jean is going to be sharing her story. We all have our very unique story to share. And yeah, it starts in our childhood and, you know, goes all the way up to where we are now. And I am very curious to learn about Jean's story, as she has a Mexican, part of Mexican heritage. El día de hoy estoy muy ansiosa de escuchar la historia de Jean, porque ella es una parte de su descendencia es mexicana y tengo mucha curiosidad de escuchar su historia. Todos nosotros tenemos una historia única y que nos guía desde que estamos chicos hasta el día de hoy y nos ha formado en lo que somos el día de hoy. So just knowing how Jean is the person who she is right now, I just would like to know what's her story, what brought her to where she is today. Entonces, no, conociendo cómo es Jean el día de hoy, lo que yo la conozco, por lo que yo la conozco, y no ha sido por mucho tiempo, pero por el tiempo que la he conocido, me interesa mucho saber qué es lo que ha sucedido en su vida que la ha traído, ha llevado a ser la persona tan hermosa que es el día de hoy.
Well,
So,
I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say so.
Go take it away, huh? Okay, first of all, I want to say that I'm very honored to be here with Lily. And I would like to explain something right from the beginning. Sí es la verdad que mi mamá fue mexicana, pero yo no hablo español muy bueno. Unas veces no sabe las palabras correcto y los verbos, pero me gusta mucho la lengua de mi mamá. I don't know how to speak Spanish really well. There's a reason for that. My father, when we were little, would not allow us to speak Spanish in the house. Mi papá no le quiere que nosotros hablamos español, porque él no entiende. Él era de la gente de alemán. He was German. And so cuando no entiendo, no quiere que hablar. So I'm very honored to be able to speak, especially to some of you who are probably like me. Hay muchos de ustedes que son como yo, que una padre es mexicana y otro cultura, ¿es correcto? Cultura? How do you say culture?
Oh, cultura, sí,
Cultura, okay.
cultura.
Y es muy difícil because le quedé los dos, ¿verdad? You love both of them. And but I especially love my mother's culture. Me gustó mucho la cultura de mi mamá, porque esa cultura tiene amor, tiene, how do you say, it hugs you. Okay.
Te abraza, te abraza.
Ajá, ajá. Y tiene mucho amor de sus niños, sus abuelos, todo. Es una familia. Y nosotros creen que todos son familia. So we're very close in the Hispanic culture. And I'm going to guess, I don't know how to say guess in Spanish, pero yo creo que hay muchos de ustedes que son como yo, que sí entiendo inglés, pero no quiere hablar porque tenemos vergüenza. Y ya no tengo vergüenza porque soy maestra de los estudiantes que vienen de México. Y ellos me enseñan español. Y yo creo que si yo tengo vergüenza hablar español, ellos van a tener vergüenza para hablar inglés. Y no quieren que ellos tengan eso, porque yo creo que los dos idiomas son importantes. Es necesario. Es necesario para hablar inglés aquí en este país. Y es necesario que nosotros también hablar español. La lengua, el idioma de nosotros, roots. How do you say roots?
Raíces.
Raíces. Okay, so that we know who we are, que quién somos, ¿verdad? Who we are. So I'm very happy to talk with all of you, and I try to make I don't know how to say that either, a bridge that helps both of us in both cultures. You want to translate that?
Que lo que tú quieres ser es un puente entre ambas culturas. Sí.
Sí, entiendo mucho español, pero el problema es no puedo hablar. Así es. Mis estudiantes eran de dos maneras. Los que vienen de México y los que hablan español, pero nació aquí. Y son diferentes. Los estudiantes que vienen de México tienen ganas para aprender inglés. Si le gusta mucho su país donde nació, they love Mexico, pero ellos vienen aquí porque hay más oportunidades. Y quieren hablar inglés para hacer esas oportunidades. Los estudiantes que viven aquí, nació aquí, pero hablan español y nada más, nada inglés, nada. Ellos no quieren aprender inglés. Quieren que todo es en español. Y es un problema para la nación. La nación.
La nación.
Ajá, porque we speak English. And I know, sí sabe la historia, sabe que en yo viví aquí en Texas, en El Paso, y aquí hay más mexicanos que hay otros. Y en esta parte fue de México. This was Mexico for a very long time. Y cuando nosotros became Americanos, they told us, le digan nosotros, you're not listening to me. They told us that sí pueden hablar los dos idiomas en esa parte de la país de Estados Unidos. Pero ese es cambio. Ya todos los papeles, los importante y todo está en inglés. Aquí también en español. Qué bueno por nosotros. Pero los que viven en otras partes no está así. So sí es importante que aprendamos la idioma, la inglés. Pero es mucho importante que no forget, que no entienda español. Es muy importante que los dos necesito. Cuando estás hablando con sus abuelos, con sus padres, hablo en inglés. No, hablo en español. So, así tiene los dos idiomas. Y yo soy maestro muchos años y ese yo creo que ese. So did you think they understood that? ¿Sí entiéndome?
Sí, yo sí estoy comprendiendo. Yes, I am
They
understanding.
are? Okay, very good. Bueno, mi mamá, mi abuelo son de México. Mi mamá nació aquí, pero sus hermanos y otros nació en México. Cuando hay la guerra, World War II,
La guerra.
la guerra,
La guerra, la Segunda Guerra, el número 2 del mundial.
todos los niños y niñas, menos uno, va en la army, in la, I don't know how to say army. They joined the army. All
Army.
brothers and sisters, except for one sister, they all went into the army. ¿Sabes por qué? Because en esos días, cuando va a la army, ya estás citizen. You became a citizen.
Porque te vuelves ciudadano al ir al army. Okay.
So los niños todos son citizens, pero mis abuelos no, todavía no son citizens. They were still from Mexico. But so it was hard, es difícil cuando está en dos culturas. Y mi mamás y mi papás. Y son diferentes. Pero la cultura que quiero es la mexicanos, la hispanas. Pero yo sabe que hay unos que how do I say this? Yo no sé cómo dice. There are some who just want to be American, nothing else. They don't want to keep their culture. No quiere quedar con su cultura. They want to be just no más Americans. But I say portrait, okay? I think that it's such, we are, the whole country, the United States, todo el país somos de muchas culturas, ¿no? Sí, somos. Es la misma cosa que tenemos, es le canta su familia, le canta Dios, le canta Madre de Dios, esas cosas. So they need to unite us. And the angels help us with that too. The angels help us because no más ve es amor. That's what we see on otros is love. That's what we need to see with others is love. And what I know what Lily wants, que quiere Lily is que puedo ayudamos ustedes que tienen poquito problemas con situaciones que son difíciles aquí en ese país. Pero la mejor cosa es, no necesita, deja su cultura. You don't have to leave your culture. You can be American, sí puede ser Americans, pero también have your culture, you know? Chinese people, la gente de China, la gente de otras partes, ellos tienen su cultura. Sí son americanos, pero también tienen su cultura. También habla con sus abuelos de las historias de muchos años pasados y qué pasa en su país. Y esas son cosas muy importantes por nosotros. It's our historia. And we all have story. Todos tenemos historias. So, if have you been able? Yo no sé si ella puede leer those comments. Are you being, if anyone has questions or
I have actually somebody joining from New Zealand. Yeah, and she says happy Saturday. Her name is Anaka Anix. And yeah, and she's sharing with us. She's saying in her language, that's so beautiful that somebody's joining with her language. She's saying, I am gonna read it the best I can. It says, I'm Maori Danish. So I think she's saying that she's es danesa. Danesa, Danish, es probably danesa en español. Dice Anaka Anix, nos se une desde Nueva Zelanda y está compartiendo, está saludando desde allá y diciendo, ahora dice otra cosa, dice, see if I can see the translation, because sometimes you can see the translation in the comments. She's saying, Kia ora, kia korua, hello to you both.
Aw, how sweet.
Hi, Anaka. Thank you for joining from New Zealand.
That's wonderful.
Yes, yes.
And they too have two cultures in New Zealand.
They have two cultures. Like, what do you mean?
Well,
Like,
because they have the indigenous people, and they have then the people who immigrated from England and Europe and los otros países. Pero hay personas que son de los originales, la gente que son originales. Como en México también tenemos gente de España y francés, pero la gente que está primero, los indios, también tenemos en México. Y
Sí.
nosotros son un mezcla, ¿no? Un mezcla de todos esos.
Sí, es una mezcla, somos mestizos.
Mestizos, ¿verdad? Y,
Sí,
y también en US, nosotros, la gente es un mezcla de muchos países. We're a mixture of many countries.
yes,
True?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So Yin, I would like to know, since okay, there is somebody. Let me see if there is another comment.
Okay.
Anaka is saying hola. Now she's practicing her Spanish. Hola. Hola. Practicando español y danés e inglés.
Y perdóname para hablar en español. Yo sabe, es muy difícil cuando alguien no habla bien, pero es muy bueno por yo. Tengo mucho feliz, no, happiness para puede hablar poquito en español.
Well, Anaka says your pronunciation was beautiful. So I think, yeah, it is. I mean, I was not expecting you to speak so much in Spanish, and I am able to understand everything that you are saying. And like Anaka says, you are, you are speaking beautifully, and all the things that you are sharing are really interesting. And I know, Jean, that you have heritage that is Mexican and German, correct?
Correct.
So your father, where was your father born?
He was también nació aquí, pero sus padres fue de alemán, de Germany. Uh-huh. Y ellos son, yo no sé si todos que todos están así, pero ellos son muy diferentes de los españoles. Ellos son más, I don't know how to say it, frío, más, no brazo, no doy
Like
besos,
touch,
no,
like
no toca mucho y son muy limpiados.
Like limpios, like they are very
Limpios,
hygienic,
sí,
clean.
sí.
They like to be.
Los países, todo es muy limpio. Y ponen los niños aparte de los adultos.
Adultos.
En México no, así, no todos son, I mean, los niños sí pueden va y jugar con los otros niños, pero no, los padres no digan, aquí, va aquí. Pero en alemán sí, como en una mesa diferente, todo es diferente.
Sí.
Quiero que mira, pero no hablo.
Sí.
Sí son, pero no es en la Hispanic culture. So, fue muy difícil cuando estoy chica y no sabe qué es lo más, cómo necesito behave. I don't know how to say
Comportar.
comportar. Yes. You didn't know, porque una cosa es muy bueno aquí, pero en la otro lado, no.
Sí.
So it was hard, but
So, like, talking about your childhood, and you were born here. Your mom was born in which part of Mexico? No,
born here.
Yeah, and your grandparents.
Yes, they were. Well, Mi abuelo fue de Aguascalientes,
Aguascalientes.
sí, pero mi abuela era de Chihuahua.
Chihuahua y Aguascalientes. Okay,
Mhm.
beautiful places. And then your grandparents, the parents of your father were born in Germany.
Yes.
And then, so I would think that because you were the second generation being born here, your parents were born here, in America.
Mhm.
How was their assimilation, and how was your assimilation as a child? I would think it would be easier for you than it was for them, because it gets better each generation, I would think. I don't know, because I am not you, but it doesn't mean that it was easy. But how was that, being having your roots from Mexico, because you mentioned that your mother really tried to preserve the Mexican culture and tradition. So she was trying to preserve that in your home. I mean, as much as she could, because you were not allowed to speak in Spanish. But at school, you needed to speak in English, because that was the language that was spoken. How was that? How was for you to grow up with that kind of duality or confrontation with different things, to trying to find probably your identity, because I'm here, but this, kind of pulled to different sides. I mean, it just sounds like being born in a mixed culture. Yeah, I would like to know.
You know that it was, you're going to have to translate this, because I don't think my Spanish can handle this, but it was difficult.
Mhm.
But it was a good lesson. I learned to accept all people. You know, it was a good lesson for my spirit, my soul, my being, because I learned that people are different, and you should not want them to have to be like you. You should love the differences. You should love that they're different. It doesn't mean that we're not the same. It doesn't mean that we can't be together and united. It just means that they're a different color flower than we are, and we love them both. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yes.
So it was a hard lesson for me, but it was a good lesson,
Mhm.
for me.
Mhm.
And I don't know, because my childhood wasn't the best. I lived in Segundo Barrio here in El Paso. Segundo Barrio es la most pobre parte de la ciudad. Y there were gangs, and
Mhm.
mucho violence, very violent. So my experience, my experience probably is not the same as other people, but that lesson that taught me that everybody is acceptable, and not to expect them to be the same as you, maybe yes, in love and kindness, but not, accept and love the differences that we have.
Ujú. Entonces, en español diría que lo que tú aprendiste en tu infancia, creciendo en América, en Estados Unidos, proviniendo de una familia México-alemana. Dices que sí tuvo sus retos. Vivías en un barrio que era de bajos recursos y había muchas, como se le llama en Estados Unidos, gangs, que son como ciertos grupos que se forman con ciertos objetivos. Pero lo que yo entiendo que sobresale en lo que tú estás compartiendo es que hay una belleza, que lo que sobresale de toda tu experiencia es que hay una belleza en toda esa experiencia porque tú pudiste ver que todos somos diferentes, que hay diversidad y que lo importante en esto es aprender a vivir y amar esas diferencias, aceptarlas y abrazarlas, como decías antes, embrace them, hug them. No sé si tengas alguna otra palabra que quieras decir en español de lo que compartiste en inglés. Do you have any other like words in Spanish that you would like to share about what you said in English?
I could think of
that you are saying that the most thing that you learned was that to although there were difficulties, you learned to embrace the beauty of being diverse and different.
Yeah, que aceptamos que nosotros son diferentes, son de diferentes culturas, tiene diferentes idiomas y diferentes maneras de vestir, todo eso. Pero eso no es importante.
Uh-huh.
Nosotros necesito, how do you say like? How do you say like in Spanish?
Que
like.
te gusta.
Que te gusta esos diferentes. Porque son importantes a ellos y también es importante que nosotros sabe que nosotros son lo mismo, que nosotros son unidos, que nosotros es una familia grande, que todos están en esa familia. Y esa lección, esa tarea como mis estudiantes de homework, la tarea fue muy difícil, pero entiendo mucho de esa tarea que I learned, aprendo mucho de gente, de personas, de qué es importante en ese mundo. What is important, you know? Es importante que ella parece poquito diferente y su vestido es poquito diferente, o es más importante que ella tiene un corazón lleno de amor. You know, what is important? The important thing is la más importante cosa es que nosotros tengo love, amor por todos. That's the most important, you know.
Yes.
And so I my students, mis estudiantes, unas veces que vienen, sabes que los estudiantes de México tienen más amor, yo creo. I'm going to say this wrong. Perdón por mi español. Pero ellos tienen más amor, más what's real. ¿Qué es la
Autenticidad, son genuinos. Genuine authenticity,
Sí.
like raw, more, yes. Mhm.
So it's we don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose that. No cambio eso. Queremos eso. La natural es natural. Para tiene amor por todos. It's natural. And that's what I don't want us to lose. So our culture is important that we keep it. And yo sé, es difícil cuando algo como yo estás hablando eso, porque hay muchos que probablemente dice, ella no sabe nada, porque yo creo que hay muchas cosas que no sabe, pero la mayor sí sabe, porque toda mi vida es con la cultura de España. Cuando yo voy a la universidad, hay algunos estudiantes que dicen, yo tiene una clase de historia de México. Y muchos de que son hispanos, pero nació aquí y tiene la how do you say last name?
El apellido. ¿Apellido?
Sí, como Hernández o Rodríguez o sí. Mi mamá fue Hernández, pero yo fui Metzger, porque mi papá fue alemán, ¿verdad? So, ellos creen que no saben nada de esa cultura de México, porque mi nombre es diferente. Pero sabes qué, un día me digo a ellos que usted tiene la palabra, pero usted vive allí en las casas grandes, en las casas ricos, con todos dos carros y todo eso. Yo no, yo estoy aquí con todos son hispanos, que todos son de esa cultura. So sí sabe poquito. I hope I'm not offending anybody. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, I do know you, Jean, and you are sharing your story. Again, it's your story from your perspective. And yes, I mean, it's not I know you are not trying to offend anybody. It's just your unique story. I want to say that Anaka Nix is saying in her language, because she's typing it in Danish and in English. So she said, Ataua to korua korero. What you are speaking is beautiful. And then she said, He tino pono. That is so true. So thank you.
Thank you.
For sharing the beauty of your language, Anaka. Thank you for being part of this conversation in your language.
You're gonna have to send me that. I'd love to see it. Love to see the language.
Yes. Like these comments are in Enlightened World Network. So when we are finished, you can look at the comments and you can also respond to the comments, Jean, if you want.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and she's saying now, it's Maori. Oh, Maori. Maori, the official language of New Zealand. So
Oh,
it's called Maori.
Maori.
It's not, okay. Maori Danish, Maori. Yeah, that's the official language in New Zealand. It's good to know.
It is.
Learning something new today.
We know many countries have two languages.
Mhm. Yes.
Um,
You
You-
know,
You
some,
grew
some,
up in, you
yeah,
grew
go.
up in Mexico. You grew up in Mexico, right?
Yes, yes.
Um, the indigenous people have their own language, don't they?
Sí, sus dialectos, tienen sus propios dialectos. Náhuatl, zapoteco, mixteco.
Mhm, mhm.
There are lots of dialects that they just like we do. They are trying to preserve as well in the best way possible. Yes.
Yes, I went to a group, to a meeting of a group of teachers from the different indigenous cultures in Mexico. And I loved them. They were so wonderful. And they were trying to keep each of their cultures, each of their language still alive, still functioning with their young people so that it wouldn't be lost forever. Because right now, the only ones who speak it are the abuelos, the older people.
Yes.
And it's beautiful what they're doing. I think it's important for them too to keep. I just think it's important we do that. I really do, because it's part of our identity. And I know you have to translate all that. I can't say it in Spanish.
Fuiste a una reunión donde había gente de cultura indígena, ¿cierto? Was that meeting you said in Texas?
Yes, it was at
Oh,
college.
at college.
Mhm.
Wow. And yeah, lo que Jean está compartiendo es que fue una reunión de culturas indígenas en una universidad en Texas y que sí, que ella lo que compartieron pues la dejó con huella porque ellos quieren preservar su cultura, sus tradiciones, su comida probablemente,
Mhm.
sus valores que vienen de sus ancestros, que son muy puros y que quieren seguir conservando lo más posible la pureza de esas tradiciones ancestrales que vienen de su propia cultura. Y dice Jean que sí, que ella cree que sí, que es muy importante tratar de conservar nuestras raíces, conservar nuestra cultura, conservar nuestras tradiciones en la medida de lo posible para poder trascender y poder pasarla a la siguiente generación y que eso no se pierda, porque si la generación de nosotros no lo cultiva, no lo preserva, entonces se olvida y no se pasa a la siguiente generación. So if we don't preserve our roots and tradition, culture, then it will be forgotten. Everything that our ancestors did that was so beautiful, all of their traditions,
Mhm.
so much wisdom and knowledge, it will be forgotten if we do not preserve it and if we don't pass it to the next generation.
Mhm.
So yes,
Very true.
yes,
Very true.
yes, it is. It is. It is. And now, living in Texas, that is a border city to Mexico,
Mhm.
and having so many Hispanic people living in Texas, like it's a very high percent of Latino community there. Did that I wonder if that made a difference on you growing and preserving your family, preserving your roots. Did that have an influence because it's a border city and because Texas is a high populated region of Latino community? Or do you think it definitely happened just because your mom preserved it and your mom's family preserved it no matter what?
I think it probably was a combination of both, because remember I told you for the first few years we lived in St. Louis, okay? Y allí hay poquitos mexicanos, pero no mucho. Pero mi mamá busca un grupo que se llama la Benito Juárez Society.
Oh, Benito Juárez was a president of Mexico.
Yes, pero ellos tienen un grupo que se
Ajá.
llama eso y ellos tienen citas todas las semanas y they played music, la música, la baile, todas las tradiciones como la 5 de mayo y todo eso, la 16 de septiembre, they celebrated them. Sí,
Sí.
they took care of them. It's because my mama found them. Mi mamá busca y she found them. Se encontró ese grupo. So she was, sí, es muy importante de ella quiere nosotros sabe de dónde viene, de dónde, where we came from. So that was part of it. And yes, when I moved aquí, when we moved here in El Paso, I'm sure the fact that the population, population
La población.
es más hispano que, you know, como 98%.
Oh,
Sí, es mucho. Es mucho.
well, it's almost, yeah, 98% is like my majority, definitely.
Yes. So, you know, es la, yo no sé cómo llama esos, pero los güeros. De ellos, they've gone down. Que hay, cuando vive aquí primero, hay muchos.
There were a lot of Caucasian.
Yes.
Culture. Yeah.
Yes. Pero now not so many, yeah. No hay muchos. Y yo creo, yo vivo donde todos están hispanos, you know. So yo creo eso sí es porque es muy importante a mí. Es porque es el que sabe. Yes. Y me encanta. So, you know, that's probably true. Los dos, mi mamá y donde viva.
See, and you know, it would have been great, as we are inclusive, for your father to have also inherited some of the culture and values from Germany. You know, it would have been interesting to learn more also about Germany, about the German culture. My husband, he has German ascendance. He has German ascendance, and he loves Mexico. Everything is like, every time we go to Mexico and he goes to new places and meets new people and meets my family, and you know, there are things that are different, as we know. And he loves it. Because just like what you say, Ginny, is just the love. He's just embracing the love. he feels the welcome. He feels, he feels very welcome, although he might be new to certain situations and people. He feels welcome. And just like you say, the touch, my nieces are up, like just hugging him and trying to ask him to pick them up. And, a lot of those things. And he enjoys all those things. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't know a lot about the German culture, but we do eat some German food. For example, I mean, I don't even remember the names right now, but we eat some German food, and there are certain traditions that he's aware of. So I don't know. There might be some similarities, just like when we talk about Italy. Italians or some European cultures, that they do like family. They have the orientation to family as well. But just like you said, we don't generalize that because this person that is born or was born, or their parents or grandparents were born in this place, they are all different. Even within the same family, they could be very different. So yeah, anyway, that's what I was just thinking right now. I was just thinking about the German culture.
Well, we kept a lot of the traditions from Germany too, and my father tried to teach us German.
Mhm.
He wouldn't let mom teach us Spanish, but he tried to teach us German. I didn't learn a word. I didn't. It was so hard. For me, it was so hard. My ear, it just didn't hear the sounds. And the way you talk in German is like in the throat. And I just couldn't
Mhm.
I couldn't say it. And but he also loved the Hispanic culture because of the fact that they were very loving, because the German culture is not that way. I mean, I can't speak for everybody because I don't know. But in my family, the German people were, I'm not saying they didn't love each other, they did.
Mhm.
They didn't. In the Mexican culture, we love people unconditionally.
Mhm.
Our children, we love them unconditionally. No conditions. They're our children. We love them. In the German culture, there's conditions. You have to behave this way. You have to behave that way. You have to behave in a certain way. There is not that unconditional love. So when people are introduced to the Hispanic culture, they embrace it because we all want to be loved unconditionally.
Mhm.
Think, don't you?
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's the way God loves us, and that's the way we all want to be loved.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, and we all do have different, our inheritance is from a mix of cultures. All of us who live in, let's talk about the United States. We all have a mix of indigenous, European. I mean, we all have a combination of cultures. Um, but I guess, like, as for me, because I grew up in Mexico, then my parents and grandparents were born in Mexico. Then oh no, my grandfather, actually, my maternal grandfather, was born in Spain. So we did learn some about Spain, and we are in touch with our relatives in Spain. And my mom visited her relatives in Spain when she was 40. and she loved it. But yeah, it's always like in my family. I know a lot about my ancestors or my roots, because yeah, my parents, my mom showed us pictures. I mean, we talk about things or books about something, and it was really, shared. But also it's because I grew up there. I didn't have any other kind of mix besides well, I have Spanish. Oh no, well, when you go to the ancestry, then you learn there is more. It seems that I would always say Spanish, Mexican, indigenous, but now I learned that in that European, that I thought it was Spanish, it seems that there is some from France, there is some from Germany, and there is some even from Africa. So yeah, there is like a mix there.
Mhm.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Wow, we are already at the top of the hour.
I know.
Yes, I had that video that I was hoping I could share. I know there is no, let's see, 12:58. I wonder if I would be able to share the video that has the intergenerational experience.
I'd love to see it.
Let me see if I can share it, Jean.
Okay.
If I'm able to figure out here. Hopefully I don't cut the program. What is it if we have cut? Oh well. Let me see if I can find it. I need to do that. And then, yeah, we're still live. I'm just checking. I thought I had it out. Okay, I found it. So now I just have to go back to Zoom and can you see it?
Well, you've got it. There you are. Yes.
Yes, can you see a grandma with a child?
Yes.
All right. And let me know if you can hear it well.
Okay. There's a black mark. Okay, there we go. No, it's still there. There's a black. Oh, I know what they've done. They've blacked out her face. It's okay.
We've always had ambulances and firefighters show up to help people next door. The other day we had a different incident. We had an ambulance show up and firefighters came as well, and our children were very concerned about their friends next door, noting that they were frail and that they might have fallen.
beautiful.
Yes, I think it is beautiful to see how you know, elders are able to share experiences with the children. I'm sure it brings them life, you know.
No, I read a line a long time ago that said, "We don't mind growing old as long as we can see the beginning."
Mm.
And that does, it means a lot. People who are growing old, they want to see the beginning. They want to see the kids, the little ones, because, you know, that makes us gente. That makes us people that we're together in love. That's beautiful. Very beautiful.
Yes, and you know, we know that children are very connected to the spiritual realm, and elders too. You know, they are both. So the children are at the beginning of their life, and the elders, depending on their age, you know, getting close to the day that they will transition. So they are both connected to the angels. So it's just beautiful to have them experience things together and share that sacred moments. They are probably really sacred. You would think that the elders are the ones who gain more because, you know, it really brings meaning to their life. But I'm sure the children, they have so much that they are absorbing. Just like the lady in the video said, you know, the children were to this facility to visit the elders. And then there was, oh, well, it was not necessarily like that, but I remember she told me that in one time they visited the facility and then there was a person who fell. And I don't know what happened, but the children, they didn't get to see that part. But then if they get to see that, like they saw an ambulance. So these two facilities are in the same piece of land. So the children, they go visit the elders maybe once a week, and they do activities with them. But if there is an ambulance who comes to the assisted living facility, then the children see it. And then they ask, you know, they are always asking questions. They ask, what is that? Why did they come? So it brings them more, how do you say that, feeling of, compassion and care. I think more fragile. It's like it brings the light to them of fragility. I don't know. It's just different when they are able, because, you know, children are healthy most of the time and they don't deal with illness, and then suddenly they start seeing other things that they don't see at their age, unless, you know, they grow up with parents who are, you know, of course, if at home or in their family. But let's say if they don't get to be in touch with their grandparents, or they might not experience, there are many who are not in touch with their grandparents, and then they get to see things here that they don't see in their own family.
Yeah, it helps them to learn values, to learn humanity, what it means to care, like you said, what it means to be human, and kindness. And, you know, those things, a lot of people think you can't teach those things, but you can. You can't teach them like sitting down and teaching them, but you can by example and exposure. And so they definitely are gaining as much, if not more, than the elderly people. The
Yes.
children are.
Yes.
Yes, it's beautiful. I love it.
All right. Okay, Jean, it's time to end our program. And well, I want to thank you for accepting the invitation to be here.
Oh, well,
And
thank you so much. I've enjoyed it.
You always share so genuinely from your heart, and it's just really delight to hear you talk, to hear you. Yeah, I mean, everything that you say, and then I want to know more, and then sometimes I feel like I just want to listen, but then I have a question, and it's like,
Well, I was hoping a lot of people would ask questions because that makes it easier, when people ask questions. But I just want to say thank you to everybody and blessings on you. May the angels bless you and may the divine be with you every day of your life. So,
let's say it in Spanish. ¿Cómo lo dices en español?
Angels, I don't know how to say blessed.
Bendecido.
Que los ángeles y que Dios están con ustedes toda su vida, todos los días de su vida. ¿Sí?
Sí. Sí.
And mucho amor. Love you. Love you.
Love you all, and thank you for joining us in the live. Thank you for your comments, and next time, another time that we have Jean, be prepared with your questions because she would like to answer questions if you have. So anything that you feel to ask or comment, just feel free to do so. Nos vemos la próxima semana a las 3 de la tarde, hora del este. 12 del día, hora del Pacífico. See you next week on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time and 12 p.m. Pacific. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lily.
Gracias, Jean.
It's